All right, apparently I'm live. Apparently, the cam is not doing its thing. Camera just keeps fucking up. And that is just fucking awesome. I guess I'll start out by saying there was no work again today. It's very quiet. It's this is the way this time of year is. It's been like that since I started doing this. And in fact, it was like this when I was in commercial construction too. January, February were quiet. There was always a little something to do, but some days I was catching up on paperwork. Don't have too much paperwork to do as a trucker. I did talk to my boss today because paperwork is the only thing I'm having a major struggle with, I think. And it's just that his paperwork and my old company's paperwork they're just different ways of saying the same shit, and I'm learning how to do it. It's interesting to reset one's brain. Anyway, please feel free if you're rewatching to make any comments. Hey Tori, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I don't know what you're up to. You're probably working. Victoria, good to see you too. Good morning to you. It has just become afternoon in the Eastern time zone, but Victoria's on Saskatchewan time, which I think is shared with maybe Arizona. I'm not sure. Saskatchewan time, they don't have daylight as savings and standard time. They have Saskatchewan time. They don't change their clocks. They're smart people in Saskatchewan. The Saskatwatches, as I like to call them, are wonderful people. I thought I'd just come and do another stream since I'm off. I had to go to town, a different town, but I had to go to one of the towns near me in this sort of rural area I live. There's a few that I can get to in 20 minutes or so that are of a semi-substantial size, and all that. You took the morning off and you have an appointment. Okay, well, I had an appointment this morning too, so I had to go. I have a CPAP machine. I had to go get a new one because a long time ago, Philips made one that was causing problems. It contained stuff that could give you cancer. I don't even know. I don't want to sound like Chicken Little. Anyway, they replaced it, so I got a new one today, which is great. So now I have a new one to replace an old one that I'd sort of given up on a while ago because it was not safe to use, and I ended up having another one. Anyway, this goes back a number of years, but finally got one after they explained what was going on with the recall. And while I was dealing with recalls, I was also dealing with my truck. My personal truck, not my work truck. Although I did get the great news that my boss has provided me with a snow shovel so I can shovel off the trailer in the morning without bringing mine from home, which I've done once, and I've done it with less than adequate equipment a couple of times, like my snow brush and stuff. It was lighter snow, so it wasn't so bad, but it's hard to clean off the deck of a 53-foot trailer in a reasonable time with a smaller implement. And I had a couple of funny experiences in the last 24 hours. One of them was one of the experiences I had was interesting. Is I went to PV Mart, which is Victoria will know about this probably even if they don't shop there, but Victoria will be aware of PV Mart. Is a Western-based company that sells sort of farming and livestock supplies and automotive mechanical supplies and a bit in the way of tools, welding, clothing, the kind of things you need if you live in a rural area and you're sort of a self-sufficient sort of a person. And so I went there last night because they're going out of business, sadly. They're a Canadian success story. They bought out what was left of the TSC brand, which was Tractor Supply Company for Americans, would know that. It was kind of a rebranded Canadian store that kind of stood independently, but there was some crossover. And I actually had something I bought from Tractor Supply Company that I took to a TSC store. And they helped me look after it because I bought something in the US and had a problem. And as a sort of a goodwill gesture. The Canadian side looked after an American problem to save me crossing the border to go deal with it, which I would have just done if they hadn't been able to. I would have waited till I was going back to the U.S. and just gone and taken it in to deal with it. But it was a truck toolbox, and it was kind of easier to deal with at home. So that was that. Next thing on my list was gloves. So I went there and I was trying to shop for gloves. Hey, Majestic Beck, great to see you. So in Majestic Beck, I got to write down the names of the places that you work because I talked to my friend Mary yesterday, and you you're out there. Have you found me on Discord? I know that Andrew found me on Discord. You just, it sounds like our tracks play. Yeah, Tori, it's like that, or Country Depot. For people that like Eastern Canada, I always say Country Depot. There's co-op, farm co-op stores, which are different from like co-op grocery chain co-op gas stations. In Eastern Canada, so like Ontario, Quebec, the Maritimes, the co-op stores as well in some places, but it's far more likely that you can find a farm co-op, which is a whole lot more like um, a rural supply place. Sometimes it's like a little retail store that's attached to a feed mill. No, to a place called Baker's Feed Mill. I didn't need feed, but I needed like I was doing a construction project and it was a close place. And it was just a little one, but they had a retail store you could buy like brooms, shovels, fencing, fence posts. Stuff that was going to go wrong on a farm, you could sort of slide over there during business. Okay, am I back? Have I returned? It feels like maybe I have. No, the camera. It doesn't like the camera. There we go. Have I returned? It feels like maybe the camera. It doesn't like the camera. Okay, now I'm getting double sound. Okay, I went over to my phone to see what's going on. We got double backs again. Back. Am I allowed to say back? Yeah. So here I am. I'm back. All right. Zelon's playing with his satellites. I don't know. I don't actually use those satellites for my internet, but that doesn't mean my internet provider doesn't use them for their internet. So I don't know. I actually, amazingly, I have fiber internet in the country, which is fantastic. Thank you everybody for showing up. It's like I went down and then everybody started coming in. But yeah, my computer screen just said error. And then it said troubleshooting and a bunch of other shit. And now I can see the computer as it boots back up. It's trying to open up Blizzard so I can go play StarCraft again, which I haven't played in like a year. I got to get back on that. Dr. talked me into playing StarCraft and I got addicted to it for a while. And then my wife said, like, if you keep doing that, like, you know, you're gonna like, you'll never make it to work again. So that was fun. Discord's trying to open up. It's great. There you go. All right. I'm closing shit as fast as it's opening. StarCraft, Jason, StarCraft is awesome. I'm gonna go back to it, but I have to go back to it with like a little bit of like a pause in my thinking. Like I can't just live in StarCraft, right? Everything's opening because I rebooted the whole computer because it just went crazy. And obviously something going on with this computer is like hating the idea that I have a camera. And I'm gonna let's look at it again. Yeah, because it keeps on going to this virtual camera that it's not a thing. I don't have one. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it really hates it. Hey, so mommy, you found the nest for the crows or the nest that we're all living in here? You're harassed and cursed by 12-year-olds on what Blitz daily? I don't know what that is, Majestic Beck, but the Majestic P Beck. Anyway, if Beck and Beck ever get together, we're gonna have the Becks. Well, interestingly, I was listening to one of my older songs this morning, which was done to the tune of a Beck song, which was Where It's At. Which of course I did. World Ain't Flat. The World of Tanks. Okay, I've been playing Last War on my phone, as I've mentioned, and it's been taking up some of my sort of idle time. But the nice thing about that is like there's only like twice a week where you have to pay attention, like for something that's coordinated attack. The rest of the time you just do your thing. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. But they have a thing where you do coordinated rallies a couple of times a week. I'm usually only there for one of them. You played what briefly, and it was all men. Well, Sumami, you were there, so it wasn't all men. This game I'm playing is actually the alliance leader is female, and there's a few other females in there, and there's even there's a trans person there who will remain nameless, but I spoke up for trans people because somebody was making a comment, and it didn't turn into anything, thankfully, but they reached out to me and said thanks for like, you know, not being a dick. But it's so easy to not be a dick. It's to say, hey, I like trans people. They're fucking awesome. And some of like, you know, you can be a trans person and not be awesome, but like the ones I know are typically awesome. You know, it's like there's nothing about being in a oppressed group of one kind or another make a good person, but make you a little more empathetic to other people. And yeah, so that's a good lesson to learn. I wish I had my camera on because then I could show you all my giant hands